Atlanta rapper Gunna's rapid rise to fame from unknown MC to the upper echelons of the hip-hop game, well, it can in many ways be attributed to his affiliation with fellow Georgia-based rapper and personal friend. I'm talking about good old Young Thug. After first popping up on Young Thug's single Floyd Mayweather in 2016, well, Gunna would then sign to Thug's record label that's known interchangeably as both Young Stoner Life and Young Slime Records, but more often than not, simply referred to as YSL. Now, at first, on the bright side of fame, well, these two, they produced an undeniable flow. They earned themselves millions of streams on platforms like SoundCloud and YouTube, while also collecting millions of fans in the process. But unfortunately, all of that now appears to be at the risk of disappearing, with the shocking news that Young Thug, along with 27 other YSL associates, including a dog, well, they've been arrested and indicted for allegedly violating Georgia's RICO Act. And yes, one of those 28 individuals, well, it would turn out to be Sergio Kitchens, aka the man who's always pushing P. I'm talking about Gunna. And now I guess he'll be pushing prison time. Yikes. Bruh. After a breakout couple of years in which his music and name have come to mean more than ever, well, Gunna is now gonna have to contend with the dark side of fame as he finds himself roped into a conspiracy that might very well have little to do with him, but it could ruin his career in the process. Now, sometimes it all boils down to who you spend your free time with, and Gunna, well, he's about to find that out the hard way. Then again, it's not like Gunna is totally a saint. Now, shortly after linking up with Thug in 2016, well, he'd be arrested alongside with him the following year. But the one thing that people really seem to be up in arms about when it comes to Gunna's past is his willingness to take credit for a now viral catchphrase that he didn't really create in the first place. So where did Pushin P really originate from, and just how much trouble is Gunna gonna find himself in thanks to his recent indictment? Well, to find all out this and more, stay tuned to our latest episode of The Dark Side of Fame. Here we go. Also, a lot of you guys tuned in yesterday for the Dark Side on Young Thug. We very much appreciate it. Ring that bell, turn on those notifications so you never miss an upload. We're dropping one each and every day. Shortly after appearing alongside one another in the music video to Floyd Mayweather, well, Gunna and Young Thug, they would also appear alongside one another in a series of mugshots after the two rappers were arrested in September of 2017. This all took place at DeKalb County and they were brought up on drug charges. Okay, maybe they weren't literally both beside one another while posing for their photos, but they were together, you get what I mean. Now, the arrest happened while Gunna was reportedly driving Thug around the city of Atlanta, and while Thug was hit with a series of felony drug charges for what authorities found on his persons during the search, well, Gunna got away with a couple lesser charges, including a misdemeanor window tint violation and possession of less than 1 ounce of marijuana. My God, them cops they'll take them in for anything. Now, according to as many sources as we could dig up, well, this was the only time in his adult life that Gunna had been in trouble with the law. Well, outside of another arrest that happened in Union City, Georgia about a year later, but this also involved narcotics. Now, after all this, Gunna kept himself on the right side of law, until more recently, that is, but we'll get to all that in just a minute. Before we do, let's explore a couple more controversial aspects about Gunna's career. Now, this next one isn't so much anything that Gunna did wrong, but it still must have been an extremely frightening experience. In July of 2021, the artist's fans, they were shocked to learn that he had been admitted to a hospital, and this was for unknown reasons. Now, it would take some time, but eventually Gunna, he would get better and reveal what happened to him in the first place. Now, it turns out the man, he got hit with a serious case of pneumonia.
Pneumonia really bad. Health is wealth. Everybody take care of your body, you know what I'm saying? Take it easy.
Now, pneumonia, of course, is an infection that inflames your lungs' air sacs with fluids or pus. It causes symptoms such as fever, cough, chills, and more often than not, it results in difficulties breathing. Now, thankfully, with treatment, well, Gunna, he was able to get back on his feet. Now, this actually took a little more than just treatment. Actually, reports suggest that Young Thug, he dropped in on Gunna to check in on him while at the hospital, and he brought a few get-well gifts as well, including a brand new rose gold Cartier watch alongside 3 others. Maybe Thug's conscience was already beginning to eat away at him, considering all the trouble that he had gotten his friend into in the past, or maybe, just maybe, well, he had a heads up for what was about to come. But before we get into all that, we gotta talk about the controversy surrounding Pushin P. Now, earlier this year, well, Gunna, he helped popularize one of the most viral memes of the year when he began Pushin P.
You see a lady at the door, bro. Hold the door for the lady, bro. That's P, bro. We pushing P. You feel me?
Now, the saying, it would catch on like wildfire around the internet and lead to millions of people wondering not only what it meant, but where the hell it came from. Now, while speaking with Uninterrupted, the shop, Gunna would answer both those questions. Now, we'd explain that Pushin P, it simply means having a player mentality, and that it was a phrase he heard growing up a lot. That's especially from his dad and the older dope boys from the Porter's Ridge neighborhood of Georgia, where he's from.
Pushin P really started at first as just me just pulling up, just player like, I pull up just on some player, might got me a vibe with me, you know what I'm saying?
But when business mogul Steve Stout brought up the fact that Pushin P was popularized slang in the Bay Area long before Gunna ever thought to put it on a record, well, the rapper, he seemed unconcerned about the insinuation. He didn't mind that he was taking credit for something that he didn't have a hand in creating. Instead, he simply stated that as far as he's concerned, well, Pushin P, it's universal.
Everybody been player, like, you know, your uncles and aunties?
Player.
They was player. So that's what you...
That's what I'm saying. I
mine
too.
Player all
by the way, Atlanta players ball. Right.
Later on, during a conversation with Complex, well, Gunna would once again admit that he didn't create the saying, but he would still take credit for bringing it to the masses. He stated, "The world is just now catching on because of the song, but Atlanta and LA people who know me know. That's why it hit hard, too, because I've really been kicking P outside of music. So when I bring it to music, it's like, yeah, that's really him. He ain't lying." Now, despite the confusion that would come along with Gunna's popularization of the phrase, now it would still take off like gangbusters. But just as Gunna's career truly began to ascend thanks to his skills at Pushin P, well, only a few months later, it would be placed in serious jeopardy. Here we go. We're talking about the Rico Charges. Now, on May 9th of 2022, well, Young Thug, he was arrested on charges of participation in a street gang and conspiring to violate the Racketeering, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act, more commonly referred to as RICO. Now, in regards to this case, well, authorities, they are under the impression that Thug's YSL label, well, it's really nothing more than a front. That's for street gang activity. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the broader details of this case, including the crimes Thug has been charged with, well, be sure to check out our recently recorded Dark Side of Fame that explores this story from his point of view. But for the time being, well, I'm gonna drill down on Gunna's role in all of this. So how does the Pushin P MC play a part in what happened? Well, according to the 88-page indictment, he's one of 28 individuals who have been indicted with conspiring to violate RICO. More specifically, Gunna was named as having committed one count of conspiring to violate RICO because he wore chains that read YSL and SLAT, S-L-A-T-T, in the music video for a Lil Keed collaboration known as Fox 5. Now, for the record, YSL is sometimes also referred to as Young Slat Life. Also, for the record, and as previously mentioned, well, Gunna had been signed to Young Thug's YSL label since 2017, which you would think might provide some type of context in terms of those gold chains, but I guess it's not enough. Now, according to prosecutors who also argued that his line from that song, it goes, "We got 1,000 round choppers," more or less amounts to an overt act in the furtherance of the conspiracy. Now, the document, it also contains a screenshot of Young Thug and Gunna from the latter's Instagram account with the caption that reads, "Slap business, YSL for life," or 4L. Now, the prosecutor's reliance on rap lyrics for this case is sure to be a hot button topic in the coming weeks, and one that most people will take them to the task for. Now, in another part of the country, artists like Jay-Z, Meek Mill, Big Sean, and more, well, they've all signed on to change New York state law by pushing for something known as the Rap Music on Trial bill. Not that that's going to do much for Thug and Gunna over in Atlanta right now, but at least these artists are standing up to the fact that this is their work. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a creation of their character. It shouldn't be taken as fact in court. Now, at this point in time, well, Gunna, he is still yet to be arrested or brought in by authorities. Now, during a press conference on Tuesday, well, Fulton County Sheriff Patrick Labatt, well, he confirmed that Kitchens was not yet in custody, but said that they had spoken to the rapper's representatives.
We're making arrangements as much as he had representatives call me last night directly. So we'll muddle through that piece and let you know.
Now, we do have an update at the time of this recording. Gunna's mugshot has been released. So yeah, they pulled him in, and the guy, for what? For a chain? This is ridiculous. So with both Thug and Gunna behind bars, I know Thug, he has done his first court appearance, and there's a photo of that going viral. But I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how all this plays out. I think Young Thug's definitely in more trouble than Gunna, and Gunna, at the end of the day, there wasn't much dirt we could dig up on the guy. He seems like a pretty cool guy, he seems pretty clean, and he just wants to be Pushin P. Alright guys, that concludes our episode of the Dark Side of Fame on Gunna. Be sure to let us know who you want us to feature next, and I'll see you guys in another video. Boom!